Hello. Yes, good morning, everybody. So today is the first day of the week. This is 4th of April. So I'd like us to start off with silver. Normally don't look at silver, but today I want us to look at it because there are very, very good patterns on it currently forming. So we'll start off. This is moving average. I'm going to delete it. I'll look at it from the weekly time frame, and then I'm going to scale down to lesser time frames, maybe daily, 4 hours, and if time allows us, we'll go to the 1 hour time frame. So on this chart, basically the best level which I'm seeing is this one, the one we have at the top. So we have a very good resistance level here. It was used sometimes in the past. This was in July 2020. We had a very good resistance here. The price went down, it came back as a resistance, then it went down, then it came back as a resistance. So as we're speaking now, we do expect price to continue to the upper side. If the price can pull back up and touch this resistance, then this will be a good place to look for a sell from. So basically we'd like to see what happens if the price goes up and breaks beyond this level here. This is 25.977. Then that will be a good sign that now we're looking for a buy position. We do expect buyers to push price to the upper side, at least up to this level here. We also have a very good support here. So these are the three levels. These are the three zones that are currently relevant to where the price is now. The first one is this resistance, the one at the top. The next one is the one in between, and then the next one is the one we have at the bottom here. So these are the three places. We do have some short-term level here. This should act as a good support. If the price descends below it, then we do expect price to continue even lower, at least up to this level here. So technically we are looking for more buy positions. We are looking for more buy positions, especially so if the price goes up and breaks above this level here, then that will be a good sign that now we are continuing to the upper side, at least up to this resistance here. And if the price goes down and ends up below these two lines, then that could be a good sign that now we are sellers, at least up to this point here. So the line we have at the bottom, the one I'm drawing now, is also equally significant. You can see it was used for some times in the past as a resistance here. We had a resistance, we had a resistance there, and then we had a resistance, then we had a resistance here. So in the future, you can see the price has not used it as a support, even though in the past it was used as support here. So should the price break below this level, these two lines, then we do expect sellers to continue to push price down, at least up to this point here. So that is on the weekly chart. On the daily chart, we have the same levels still looking very significant. So this is a very good support there. We had a support, we had a support, we had a resistance, and then we had a resistance here. The support we have at the bottom still holds, so we just need to shift it a bit. We also have another level here. So this was like a resistance here. There's a break above, there is a break below, there is a resistance, there is a resistance, there is a break above. So as we're speaking now on the daily chart, this may give us a very good place to look for a buy from. If the price does not clearly descend below these two lines, then this will be the best place to look for a buy from. So unless the price clearly breaks and closes below these two lines, this will act as a very good place to look for a sell from. Does that make sense, whatever I'm saying? Okay, so that's on the daily chart. We do have some shapes which formed in the past. I'm going to look at them. So the first one which I'm seeing is the one we have at the top here. This is like a contracting wedge formation. We have it there, and then we have another wedge here. Doesn't look very good, but still a wedge. So we have that. We have another one. We have this one there. We have it like that. And then there is a minor shape. This is not a wedge as such, but it's an area of significance. So you can see that here, we had it there. Then we have, this is just a normal shape. Have that like that. And then at the top, there is also this one here. So technically, as we're speaking now, the price is within this shape. We are within the converging wedge formation, and the price is above these two lines. So unless the price clearly breaks below these two lines and also below this trend line, we do expect buyers to pick a position from this point back to the upper trend line. So this may give us a good place to look for a buy from. We expect a move like this and then a retracement before the price extends to the upper side. This is what we are looking at. On silver, we are looking for this trade here. So we have a buy, we'll have a buy there, at least up to this resistance there. So the next symbol, the next instrument which we'll be looking at, the next one is gold itself. So we have gold there. Gold, we look at it on the daily time frame downwards. So the first thing I'm seeing is we have a very good resistance. This should be a resistance in the future. We have another one. This was a resistance in the past, but it should act as a support now that the price is around it. And then we have a support there. So technically, these are the places we do expect price to go up to horizontally. We have very good levels. We have a resistance here. We have a resistance here. There is a break above. There is a pullback. Sorry about that. So we have a support, we have a support, we have a support, and we have a support there. If the price gets to somewhere in between these two lines, then this will be a good place to look for a buy position from. Our stop loss is below this low, and then our first take profit is fixed at this point here. So the reason I'm looking for a buy here is not just because we have a resistance here, or that this was a resistance, or that this is a support. I'm doing that because when the price used this place as a resistance, it went down straight away. Then after breaking above it, it continued upwards, came back. As we're speaking now, the price is literally struggling around the same place. So this here is going to be a very good place to look for a good buy from. Where the price is now is actually a very good place to look for a buy from. We want to pick a buy position in between these two lines. We'll have a stop loss below this low, and as I've mentioned, the take profit is somewhere here. That's the first take profit. The next take profit is this one here. So that is my opinion on this chart. So as usual, we are going to look at some shapes. The reason we draw these shapes is not that they are useful as we're speaking about. They were useful in the past. Sorry about that. So I'm having a very bad sore throat. So we are drawing these shapes not because they are useful now, but so that in the future when they begin to happen, you can be able to identify them on time and then use them while they're still developing. So we have this here. We have another one here. Have another one there. We have another one there. And then we have another shape. This doesn't look very good, but it's also a shape. So a shape is a shape as long as it does make sense at some point. So what that means is before it was not making sense, but in between here it makes some sense. So we are only interested in places where it was making sense. We have another shape somewhere there. We have another one there. So these are the only ones I'm seeing on this side. They're the ones which looks a bit interesting. They look very good. So I do recommend that even where the price is now, if it does give you some shape, then just follow the map properly. You are likely to make more money trading shapes than even when you're doing the horizontal lines. So I'm not saying the horizontal lines are not useful. They're very useful, but if you know how to combine them with the shapes, then you are better off. The next instrument is the SP500. So with the SP500 so far, there may be very few shapes, but we do have very good horizontal levels, and we also do have very good trends. So we have a resistance here. We have a support. This is like a shape, so this is not actually a support, but just you call it a dynamic support because it's horizontal. It's not horizontal in nature. Then we have another one here, and then we have a shape here. This is a very good shape. Then we have another horizontal level here. We have another one there. Then we have another one there. So if you remember clearly what we mentioned, some few days ago, we actually said that this symbol has been in a very, very good uptrend, and therefore, despite the fact that the price may be pulling back to at some point, maybe you see price pulling back, we are not interested in more sell positions. Such we are just looking for more buy positions. We are looking for good opportunities to look for buy orders, which means if the price should give us a buy signal, especially around the areas which I'm currently drawing, like we have the first one there. There's another one here. If the price can get to any of these levels, either it should break above this point, we expect it to continue up at least up to this level. If it pulls back down up to this level, then this may give us a good place to look for buy from. Okay, where the mouse is now is 4477.3. The other one is 4383.6. Then the next one is this one. This is 4294.6. Then the next one also is this one. This is 4149.3. So technically these are the places we want price to get to. We want it to go up to this point, up to this point, or this point, or this point, or it should break above this point up to this resistance level here. So I'm not going to dwell much on this chart because we've looked at it, and so far from what we've said in the past, this instrument is basically upward. So if you find any buy position based on your own strategy, you can go ahead to buy it. But these are the levels where we do expect price to actually give us the best buy positions from. The next instrument, I want us to look at Gpp Usd. So you remember on this chart, basically the price is bearish. You may not see that now, but you will see it in the future that the price is indeed heading to the lower side. And I'm going to start by first drawing the horizontal levels, then we'll move forward and now look for the shapes and see exactly where we expect to enter into, and then where we expect to exit, where the price gets to. So the first one, The first level is this level here. So something else before I look at this chart on the weekly, if you check the monthly chart, we have a very good resistance level here. This is on the monthly chart, it looks really clean. You can see that in the past we had a very good resistance here. This was support, sorry, had a support here. We had a very good support there. We had a support here. There was an attempt to break below it. It came back, broke below it. Then it came back as a resistance. We had a resistance there. And then we had a support here. We had a support and we had a support somewhere there. So if the price can come back and touch this level here, then this will act as a very good place to look for a sell from. So technically, we just want to see what happens. We'd want to see the price pull back and touch this level, 1.32805. That should happen this month. This is going to give us the ideal place to look for a sell from. So the reason I was saying that we have a sell on Gpp Usd is because we just left a very good resistance, and the previous month's candle actually broke below a very good level, 1.32805. That was a very, very good support. So you can see that the price technically broke below that level, and as we are still speaking now, the price is below that place. So this month we'd like to see a pullback up to that point so that we pick a sell position with a first TP. At this point, this is 1.28499, and then the next target is 1.21947. So this chart looks really, really good. Based on the monthly chart, we do have a clear sell position. You may want to place your pending sell limit here. Have your stop loss above the high of this candle. This was the high of the January candle. Have your stop loss there. Your first take profit, and then the next one should be somewhere there. So that is horizontally. We do have a very good shape also somewhere there. That looks very good. So we have that. After the break, the price is below that resistance, below the trend line itself. So that will be a good place to look for sell. This was a good place where we could have taken a sell from if we were on that chart when this was happening. So that's on the monthly. Let's check the weekly time frame. So the weekly time frame, almost the same thing which you had on the monthly, is the same thing happening on the weekly, but we'll shift our lines just a bit. So on the weekly chart, we do have this line. It is around 1.20414. The next one is this one. This is another very good line. So we have a very good resistance there. And then we have another resistance there. We are speaking now. These are the levels which I'm looking at on the weekly chart. We do have a very good resistance here. So technically, this is a zone where I've drawn as a resistance. It's not just within these two lines. We do have a very good zone somewhere there. So if the price comes back and enters inside this zone here, and then you see a sell signal, you're supposed to pick that sell order. Expect that sell to push us down at least up to this point here, these two lines. So technically, we'd like to wait for price to pull back to somewhere in between these two lines, somewhere in between this zone, so that we pick a sell position. Our stop loss is above the high of the highest high we've seen so far this year. Our first take profit is this one, and then the next take profit is the one we have at the bottom. So those are the those are the levels which looks very significant for me as it is now. If there's any development, then I'll just let you know. We'll look at it tomorrow so that we see if there's any changes, there's anything. Other than those, we do have shapes. We have that one, and then we have that one there. And then we have another one there. So we have that. There is none other. Let's see. I think that's not a very good one. So if you draw a shape but it looks really steep, like you can see here, the line is very steep, that's not significant, so you don't focus so much on it. It looks like it's a very good converging shape, but it's not very good, so we won't be focusing so much on it. Then another one, this one looks like a shape, but if we extend it like this, it looks much better. So we extend it so that it looks the way that we'd like to trade it. So that's on the weekly chart. Let's check the daily chart. On the daily chart, we'll shift things a bit. So on the daily chart, we have, on the daily chart, we have that shape like that. And then we have the line from the top. So we'll expand it like that. I hope this makes a lot of sense as we are progressing with it, as we are looking at lower time frames. It should be way much more clearer than if we just looked at it on a higher time frame. That's why I started on a higher time frame, going back down to lesser time frames. So we have a shape. Inside this shape here, we do have another shape. This one. This is like some converging wedge formation forming inside the wider shape. Then we have something like this, and then we have another one. Like that. And then we have another one. Like that. And then there is this one here. It doesn't look like a shape as such, but there are consolidations around it. So it's not only shapes that you draw. You can also draw your lines around areas where there are consolidation, just in case you need to know where there was struggling in the past, because if you know where people are struggling to either buy or sell, then you can know exactly where to enter trades in the future. So based on what I've drawn now, on the daily chart, the best place to look for a trade form is not around these two lines, but it's actually here. So this is on the daily chart, this is the best place to look for a sell form. Based on the daily chart, this is the ideal place we want to look for a sell from. If the price gets to this point, then we want to sell it. Our stop loss is fixed at the high of that candle. This is our first take profit. So we'll move forward. We are going to move forward to our next symbol. We are going to move forward to our next symbol, which is Euro USD. So with the USD so far, we'll start off just with the daily chart. We'll not look at it on the monthly chart. We'll start with the daily. So we have, this is a very good resistance. Don't get me wrong. We had a support there. There is a break and then there is a pullback. We have another one. This is like a shape. Doesn't look very good, but still a shape, so we won't disregard it. So we have that one there. And then I'm going to shift this line a bit, because if you draw it there, we are leaving out this level here, which is equally much more significant. So it's like an inverted triangular formation there. and then we had this there, like that, and then we have another one there, have another one. That's a very good shape. And then we have another level here. So you should try to understand exactly how I'm drawing these lines. I'm drawing them based on places where the price reversed from clearly, and the places where the price broke above or below with a significant candle. So if, for instance, we had this level and the price broke below it with the one big candle, I'm likely going to have my line drawn around that area than in places where the price actually was breaking that place with small candles. So like in this case, we have a very good level here. It was a support, there's a support, there is a break, there's a resistance, and then you have another one there. So if the price pulls back and touches this level, then this will give us an ideal place to look for a sell from. We'll sell it there. Our stop loss is above the high of that candle, and then our first take profit is fixed somewhere here. So that should be my opinion on the Euro USD. The next instrument is the US dollar Japanese yen. So with the US dollar Japanese yen, so far the price has been in a very good uptrend. We've seen price gain significantly, but these are the levels which remains significant. So we have these levels here. These are the few levels which looks really significant for me. So if the price can come back and touch this level, this could be a good place to look for a sell from. We'll basically consider this as a double top formation if the price can come back and touch it. But it would have been better if the price goes down maybe up to somewhere in between, then comes back and touches it, then that will give us a very good double top formation. So even as it is now, this could act as a very good double top formation if the price can come back and touch it. So we also have a level here. If the price comes and touches this point, we look for a sell. If it goes down and breaks below this level, we look for a sell up to this level here, where if it breaks below, then our next target is the one we have at the bottom. So I'm going to use an indicator. There's an indicator which I normally use. We use it here for analysis, so I'll attach it. So based on this indicator, we are actively upwards. You can see that we are very good. This is just a normal moving average. We are buyers. We started looking for a buy when the price was somewhere here. As we're speaking now, we are still looking for more buy positions. We have a support level there. So this will act as a very good place to look for a buy from. If the price can, for some reasons, come back to this level, then that will give us a good place to look for a buy from. So we have a buy there. We have a significant level there, and then we have a significant level at the very top. So thank you very much. That should bring us to the end of today's analysis. If you have any questions, please feel free to post them on the chat option for us to answer them. You can also request for us to talk about any other symbol other than the ones which I've looked at. Thank you very much. See you again tomorrow at the same time.